Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the current affairs classes. I hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to cover 15th to 16th November news analysis. Okay? And I hope the audio and video is all good. So let's begin with the discussion, and as usual, as we have started a new trend of discussing the top 5 questions from the discussion held in the class itself. So at last we will have top 5 shorts, as you must have seen in the thumbnail as well, right? So be attentive in the class and then give me the answers of all those questions at the end. Let's begin with the current affairs. So first category, ESI finance mein we have this Ayushman Vay Vandana card. This is quite in news. We have discussed this thing earlier as well. It is not separate from the overall Ayushman Bharat Yojana or scheme, right? So that is a broader scheme and we have subsets under it. So this Ayushman Vay Vandana card is in news. So the news says that according to a recent data by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, over 10 lakh senior citizens aged 70 and above, they have enrolled for the newly launched Ayushman Vay Vandana card. Now, what is this Ayushman Vay Vandana card? Ayushman Vay Vandana card, if you see, provides medical financial assistance, right? So you see this picture, 5 lakh ka muft upchar, so up to 5 lakhs. And one very important feature of this scheme is up to 5 lakhs you will be provided for any medical treatment up to rupees 5 lakh, and the criteria is only 70 years of age or above. So there is no financial barrier. That means you belong to whatever financial background, financial eligibility is not there, irrespective of your financial status. If you are 70 years and above, you are eligible for this. So this is Ayushman Vay Vandana card. It allows access to wide range of healthcare services at both government as well as private hospitals to the card holder. Okay, and you can see it gives a healthcare coverage of up to 5 lakh rupees per year, 5 lakh rupees per year for the eligible seniors. Who are the eligible seniors? 70 years or above of age, irrespective of the financial status. Next you have WEP, Women Entrepreneurship Platform. Women Entrepreneurship Platform. What is this WEP? This WEP is an initiative of Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog in partnership with the Urban Company. You must have seen the advertisements of this, right? Urban Company, quite popular, becoming popular nowadays. So Niti Aayog in collaboration with the Urban Company has launched Women Entrepreneurship Program to launch a pilot project which is going to support women MSMEs in scaling their business related to beauty sector, right? So Urban Company, you see, operates in the beauty sector. So they want to support MSMEs, they want to support women entrepreneurship via this, to launch pilot projects supporting these MSMEs and women-led businesses and entrepreneurs in this beauty segment, right? They will be offered training for this across 6 key ecosystem needs of entrepreneurial growth. They will be trained accordingly. And skilling, legal compliance, access to finance, market, business development service, mentorship, networking, all these facilities will be provided. Under what? Under this WEP, Women Entrepreneurship Platform. Okay, so this is of Niti Aayog and Urban Company. Remember, anything coming from Niti Aayog also becomes very, very important. I hope this is clear, right? Remember, WEP. Good initiative, isn't it? Then next you have S&P Global Ratings has revised India's GDP, and it says that India's GDP is projected to grow between the range of 6.5% to 7% annually, okay, in the next 3 fiscal years up to 2027. So this is the range given by S&P Global. And the primary reason attached here is infrastructure development. That infrastructure is improving, so it is providing boost to the industrial activities and economic activities, plus rise in consumption expenditure. Then you have Governor of Madhya Pradesh and CM has unveiled a commemorative postage stamp. So MP Governor and Chief Minister, they have unveiled commemorative postage stamp dedicated to sickle cell eradication by 2047. Now what is very, very important here is to remember this year, 2047. This is the target. Remember this. India aims to eradicate sickle cell anemia by 2047. Okay, what is the sickle cell anemia? See, what happens is we have RBCs, right? Red blood cells. They carry oxygen to the entire body, right? But what happens? Generally, RBCs are shaped like this. Red blood cells. In sickle cell anemia, this is a blood disorder basically. When this disorder happens, it becomes in a shape of a sickle or a crescent shaped. These, I hope this is visible, right? These kind of shapes, the RBCs, they take. Now what happens, this shape basically blocks the flow of oxygen. Okay, this shape is the regular one which carries oxygen, but this, it blocks, it creates blockages, it creates blockage to the oxygen carrying capacity of the RBCs. So it is a disorder which leads to anemia, etc. Right? So India basically targets eradicating sickle cell anemia by 2047. Remember this year. This can be a probable question in any of the examinations, right? And this is also one of the particular health challenge among the tribal groups. So that's why this has been launched on 15th November. Then we have news coming from CBDT. CBDT says Central Board of Direct Taxes, it has launched a compliance cum awareness campaign. Awareness campaign for what? For assessment year 24-25. Assessment year 24-25. Because then you have to file the ITR, right? Income tax return, you have to. So people are generally not aware of how to file, how to disclose your income, how to disclose your foreign assets, etc. So this is compliance cum awareness campaign in this series by CBDT. CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, oversees the implementation and collection of your direct taxes, right? Like income tax, APT, etc. So this is the campaign. This is to assist the taxpayers in completing their scheduled foreign assets. You can see schedule foreign assets, schedule FA, and reporting income from foreign sources. Now, one thing which you need to remember here is, what is this schedule FA? Schedule FA. So all the Indian residents who are having any foreign asset or income from foreign sources, they have to disclose that as well while the ITR filing process, right? This requirement is a schedule FA, foreign assets. You have to disclose your foreign assets as well. This is the thing. So compliance with SFA or foreign source income is mandatory. As I told you, it is mandatory under the Black Money Act as well as Imposition of Tax Act. So in order to prevent, say, money laundering, black money, etc., this is mandatory to disclose your foreign assets. Now, next you have National Housing Bank. State-owned National Housing Bank has raised 3,830 crore through 10-year bonds. Okay. So in the domestic debt capital markets at a coupon rate of 7.14%. So you can remember that this is just a mere fact. Nothing to be explained here. 10-year bonds ke through NHB has raised this much of fund, 3830 crores. 3830 crores. And what is the coupon rate? 7.14. Then you have Moodys Ratings. Recently we have seen S&P's rating for S&P's forecast. S&P Global's forecast for India's GDP. Now Moodys Ratings in its Global Macro Outlook Report by Moodys, it has projected that Indian economy is set to grow by 7.2% in 2024. So the remaining 2024 India is set to grow by 7.2% according to Moodys. But according to S&P, if you remember, we have seen it is provided a range of 6.5% to 7%, right? This is the thing. Then we have the regulatory bodies news. In regulatory bodies news, first thing is, now this is going to be very important. In regulatory bodies, we have very significant discussions today. So please pay attention. First thing is, deposit growth equals credit in November 1 fortnight according to RBI data. So RBI data says that the deposit growth and credit growth, they are on a par with each other. Right? Now, why this news is important? Because if you have followed previous reports like RBI annual report, financial stability report, etc., we have discussed this thing that what is alarming right now, not alarming, but it can be alarming if it goes on the same trend, is that there's a divergence happening between the deposit growth and the credit growth in Indian banking sector. Right? We are lending aggressively, lending too much, but the deposit growth is getting affected. So in long term, if you see, it can pose a liquidity risk. If you don't have enough liquidity or deposits, how are you going to lend to people? Or say you are lending, but then you don't have any backup, right? So it can pose a liquidity risk. Now what is happening, due to several measures taken by RBI on NBFCs as well, on banks as well, the credit growth basically has slowed down, right? So according to the latest data, deposit growth was almost on par with the credit growth. So credit, if you see, grew by 11.9% year-on-year basis, deposit 11.83% year-on-year basis. So not exactly same, but decimals ka there's a difference. Then the alignment between this credit and deposit growth is primarily, as I told you, due to slowdown in credit growth from its recent peaks. From recent peaks which we have witnessed, credit extension processes were at their peak, right? But now from their peaks, they are declining. Why? Reasons attached are, first, RBI increasing risk weights on unsecured loans and loans to NBFCs. You see, we have discussed this thing. Risk weights attached to unsecured loans which are not secured or collateralized, risk weights have increased, right? And also risk weights of bank loan being given to NBFCs. Whatever loans banks are lending to the NBFCs have also increased, because recently some of the retail loan segment of NBFCs have witnessed cases of delinquencies, right? So that's why this strict implementation of the risk weights, higher risk weights, has led to some sort of curb on the lending, right? Then RBI's directive for banks to reduce their elevated loan to deposit ratio. Earlier, the loan to deposit ratio was elevated. Total deposit ratio. Earlier, this total loan to total deposit ratio was elevated. That means in comparison to total deposits which you have, loans were very higher. So on RBI's directions, the banks have curbed this thing, right? It has also helped in aligning these two things. Also, you see, one of the major banks, HDFC, or to say one of the DSIBs, domestic systemically important bank, HDFC has also moderated its credit growth in order to bring down its LDR. It has also impacted this. So please remember these things, that's why these are the reasons. And primary reason, overall conclusion comes, is that the lending activities are moderating from their earlier recent peaks which they have witnessed, right? This is the thing, and that's why you see less of divergence happening or convergence happening basically between the credit growth and deposit growth. And these are the forecasts for financial year 2025. Credit growth is projected at 15%, deposit growth is projected at 11 to 12% range. Then, in an interview, RBI Governor, now any statement of RBI Governor you know is of very much importance for us, right? So, in an interview, RBI Governor Shaktikant Das has informed that the exchange rate in India is market determined and that the RBI does not target any specific level. That's okay. So you can expect a question, a static question, because if these kind of topics are in news. So how does this happens? In a nutshell, let's quickly track the chronology of foreign exchange rates. Earlier, what used to be the system was a gold peg system, right? So currency's value were attached to precious items like gold. Then we had currency's value being attached to US dollars, right? US dollars or prime currencies, their value were attached to precious items. But now we have switched to free market system, okay? Free market system. Free market mein the foreign exchange rate, what is this exchange rate? How much you have to pay in terms of your domestic currency to buy 1 unit of the foreign currency. You all know that. Now, this is free market. That means it gets decided by the way of demand and supply. Whatever is free market mechanism means gets decided by demand and supply mechanism. How does it get decided? So, in the international market segment, you see whatever demand and supply of foreign currency we have, in respect to that the value of your domestic currency gets decided. So governor has said that this is free market, we do not try to control it. But remember one thing, occasional interventions are always there. Whether we have free market mechanism for foreign exchange rate determination, but this thing, occasional interventions, say recently rupee has seen depreciation, right, fluctuations. So the central bank intervenes in between to maintain the value, stabilize the value of domestic currency. So Indian rupee is under pressure due to global developments and hitting the new low, that means depreciating, prompting interventions by central bank. So these interventions, they happen, and generally there is a common word used for this. Generally you find this thing in textbooks and all, managed float or dirty float. You can remember this thing, managed float or dirty float, right? So when the central bank or the governing authority intervenes in the free foreign exchange market to stabilize the value of currency, if there is too much fluctuation, it is known as managed floating. How does it happen? Say due to any reason, India, you see, is a current account deficit country, right? That we are importing more and exporting less. So when we are importing more, we need more of dollars because we need to spend, we need to pay the import bills. Are you getting my point, right? So there is a high demand of dollar. Now, whatever thing is there, say a currency, a good, whatever is there, whose demand is higher is expensive, right? So you have to pay more of Indian rupee in order to buy $1. That is quite commonsensical, isn't it? But with the help of diagram, if you try to understand. So how does RBI will intervene? I'm not going to too much detail into this, but just trying to make you understand quickly. Say rupee is depreciating too much because dollar's demand is higher. So there's one quick way to assess what will happen if demand or supply of dollar will increase, how the RBI will intervene. You just make a quick graph, okay? So suppose this is the graph. You all know demand curve is always downward sloping because of negative relation between price and quantity demanded, and supply curve is always upward sloping because positive relation between price and quantity supplied. This is equilibrium price. So, and this on this axis, on the x-axis you have the demand and supply of foreign currency, which is US dollar. Okay. On the y-axis we have the forex rate, foreign exchange rate. So suppose they are equal at this equilibrium point. Now suppose this is say $1 is equals to say 50 rupees. Okay, for example. Now what happens? Suddenly the demand of dollars, it increases. So the demand curve will shift, say rightward. Okay. So the demand increases, right? Demand increases. Now this is the thing. So it actually has to fall down. Okay. Just a second. Let me make it once again. All right. Now I think it would be more clear, right? So this is the demand curve and this is the supply curve. Now, as I told you, the demand for dollar increases. So demand curve, it basically shifts rightward. Now the new intersection, suppose this is $1 is equals to 50 rupees. Okay. New intersection happens here. Suppose this is, so it has increased. You see foreign exchange rate will increase anything above 50 rupees, let's say 60. So $1 is equals to 60 rupees. This is depreciation of our currency, isn't it? I hope you have understood. How will RBI intervene? So we need to curb this demand. How will you do that? You increase the supply of the dollar, right? Because demand is in excess of the supply. That is the reason your currency is depreciating, losing value against dollars. So what RBI will try to do is sell out dollars in the market. Sell out dollars in the market. Selling out dollars in the market will increase the supply of dollars. So now supply curve will shift rightwards. Supply curve shifts rightwards. So now the new intersection will be here. And if you see, okay, this new intersection happens here. It is lower than, say, 51, say happens 45 rupees per dollar. Okay, so this is how you have managed to stabilize the currency. This is how the central bank intervenes. I hope this is clear, by buying and selling, right, the dollars in the market or any other foreign currency for that matter in the market. I hope this diagram is clear, everyone, right? It is much clear. And this is how, whenever you have confusion, just draw this and try to assess the scenario. So this is the broader idea which I wanted to explain to you. One important fact which you need to remember from here is, in the statement it is also highlighted that India holds the 4th largest Forex reserve at the global level. India holds the 4th largest, remember the rank, 4th largest, and in terms of numbers, $682 billion. 4th largest and $682 billion of Forex reserves we have at present. And if you see the current account deficit, although we have a deficit, but it is manageable, okay, 1.1% of GDP. Current account deficit is moderating actually from the previous levels because of boost being given recently to the exports activities. So although we have deficit, but that is quite within the manageable limits, 1.1% of GDP, remember that. Then you have Unify Asset Management Private Limited. Remember, Unify Asset Management Private Limited, it has received a nod, okay, from Sebi to start functioning as a mutual fund operator. So now it will also be functioning as a mutual fund. Remember, Unify Asset Management Private Limited. Then you have the Sebi has asked Reliance Big Entertainment to pay 26 crore fine. So 26 crore fine recently has been imposed by Sebi on Reliance Entertainment for failing to clear penalties imposed by the regulator in illegal diversion of funds. Earlier it was charged for illegal diversion of funds. So it failed basically to clear all those penalties which were imposed earlier. Then you have outward FDI rising. This is again important. So according to RBI data, India's outward FDI has increased to $3.24 billion in October 2024. Now what is outward FDI? So when our, say, domestic residents are owning a stake in foreign companies, investing out there. So inflow of FDI, foreign direct investment coming into your economy, outward FDI going out from your economy. Basically, it can be in terms of equity, debt, guarantees, in any form. It can take any form, right? So these outward FDI from India tend to be at $3.24 billion in October. Remember this figure? This is RBI data. So I hope the regulatory bodies news, they were important, and the conceptual things which were there like managed float, etc., they all are clear to you, and the graph is also clear. Now moving to the banking news segment. In the banking news, you have Canara Bank. Canara Bank has classified accounts of Reliance Communications and its subsidiary Reliance Telecom as fraud. So you can remember that these accounts, they have been classified as fraud and these are undergoing insolvency processes right now. This is just an update, no more discussion required. Then we have the standalone health insurer, Galaxy Health Insurance Company Limited. It has launched its first product, Galaxy Promise. Galaxy Promise. So Galaxy Health Insurance has launched Galaxy Promise. What is this? It is targeting families seeking affordable health coverage. Okay, it will provide sum insured from a range of 3 lakh to 1 crore. So it is going to provide health insurance coverage, health insurance from 3 lakh to 1 crores, 3 lakh to 1 crores of the range. Affordable healthcare basically with the help of insurance. So this is what Galaxy Insurance is, Galaxy Promise is going to provide. Then we have SBI planning to borrow up to $1.25 billion, which is largest dollar denominated loan from India's financial sector. That's why this becomes important. So SBI is planning to borrow how much? $1.25 billion of the loan. Largest dollar denominated loan in India's financial sector in 2024. Okay. And for this, remember all these entities, CTBC Bank, then you have HSBC Holdings, and then Taipei Fubon Bank. They are arranging this 5-year loan. So who is arranging this for SBI? These three banks, remember their name. They are arranging this 5-year loan which carries an interest margin of, so interest margin will be of 92.5 basis points over the SOFR, secured overnight financing rate. 92.5 basis points it will be over SOFR. Just this much is important. You need to understand the concept of SOFR here. What is the secured overnight financing rate? See, it has replaced the erstwhile LIBOR. Okay. It has replaced the erstwhile LIBOR. London Interbank Offered Rate. Okay, this has been replaced by, remember this thing, replaced by SOFR, secured overnight forward rate, right? So SOFR has basically replaced the LIBOR, erstwhile LIBOR. Now what is this thing? What is interbank offered rate? First of all, IBOR. This IBOR basically stands for the interest rate which the interbank transactions they take a clue from. The benchmark interest rates for the interbank transaction. Suppose there are two banks, ICICI and HDFC. ICICI wants to borrow from HDFC, right? So what for overnight borrowing? For short-term liquidity requirements, if for overnight borrowing, ICICI wants to have some borrowing from HDFC. HDFC offers some rate of interest that will be interbank. Okay, and how will they decide कि HDFC कितने interest rate पे ICICI को loan देगा? That is something which takes a clue from these benchmarks. So earlier, in India, we had MIBOR. Okay, in India, we had MIBOR, Mumbai-based interbank offered rate. Mumbai interbank offered rate. Clear? I hope this much is clear, everyone. Earlier, we had MIBOR. Okay? Just a second. So just remember, this benchmark of interbank interest rates in India earlier was MIBOR, Mumbai Interbank Offered Rate. But now this MIBOR has also been replaced by the FBILs. Can anyone tell me what is FBIL? Anyone? What is FBIL? So remember, this benchmark for India earlier was MIBOR, and this MIBOR used to take clue from the LIBOR. London Interbank Offered Rate. It used to serve as a benchmark for the interbank rates for almost all the countries, right? But there were certain transparency issues which were highlighted for LIBOR. Okay, that this is not so much transparent, etc. Manipulation happens. These were the claims. That's why it has now been replaced by SOFR. Remember this thing, SOFR. Okay, it gets decided in terms of dollars, so gets decided by the US Treasury, right? This is clear, SOFR. So it has replaced LIBOR recently. Okay, now this MIBOR has also been replaced in India by FBIL's overnight MIBOR. Okay, FBIL's overnight MIBOR. So now it is more effective. Remember, the financial benchmarks of India Limited, FBIL's MIBOR, overnight MIBOR is the benchmark for these interbank transactions now. I hope the entire scenario is clear. So this is the thing. This is as SOFR replaced LIBOR, and FBIL's overnight MIBOR has replaced the erstwhile MIBOR. Okay. So this is the news, and this was the concept. Moving on to the national and state news category now. I hope all the regulatory banking sector concepts and news are clear. So Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has visited Bihar, Jamui, to make the commemoration of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, 15th November 2024. Remember, this is important. 15 November is celebrated as Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, marking the 150th birth anniversary of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Right, Birsa Munda basically has been a very popular tribal freedom fighter, right, known for leading the Ulgulan revolt. Okay, Birsa Munda is a popular tribal figure for also popular tribal freedom fighter and known for the Ulgulan tribal revolt. He has unveiled a commemorative coin and postal stamp as well in honor of Birsa Munda, and that's why also led foundation of several development projects over there, and he has inaugurated and laid foundation of key development projects like Griha Pravesh ceremony, okay, of 11,000 houses were there under the Pradhan Mantri Janman, Janjati Adivasi Nyay Maha Abhiyan. What is this PM Janman? PM Janman is basically to uplift the PVTGs, providing houses to the PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. These PVTGs are most vulnerable of the tribal groups. You see, tribal groups are marginalized. We are trying to uplift them, right? But out of those tribal groups, the PVTGs are the most marginalized one. They are the most vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs. So this is PM Janman for them. Then mobile medical units, MMUs. So he has also inaugurated 23 mobile medical units to enhance healthcare access in the tribal areas. Okay, and remember the theme, not the theme, but the tenure of PM Janman 23-24 to 25-26, it will be there. Then you have PM Dajuga. What is this? This is to address the critical gaps in social infrastructure like health, education, then livelihood development for the tribal areas. So all these sub-schemes they have launched for the overall development and benefit of the tribal areas and tribal population, also the PVTGs. So this is the thing. Then tribal entrepreneurship and education. So 300 Vandhan Vikas Kendras, 300 Vandhan, remember 300 Vandhan Vikas Kendras and 10 Eklavya model residential schools have also been founded. Okay, so what are these Vandhan Vikas Kendras? These are the centers which provide entrepreneurial or business opportunities for tribal, utilizing the forest resources, because forests are the home to tribals, right? So they are very much dependent on the forest for their survival and livelihood. So all those raw materials, say inputs directly taken from the forest, can be processed to produce final goods, and that can be sold in the market, providing a source of livelihood or income to the tribals. This is Vandhan Kendra. Okay, 300. So converting the forest resources into dhan or wealth. And Eklavya model residential school, you all know, for tribal children. Cultural preservation के लिए 2 tribal freedom fighters museum and have been inaugurated. So remember these names. First is in Chhindwara, Jabalpur, Chhindwara and Jabalpur, MP, and 2 tribal research institutes have been established in Srinagar and Gangtok. So 2 tribal museums, remember, Chhindwara and Jabalpur in MP, Chhindwara and Jabalpur in MP, and 2 tribal research institutes have been inaugurated, first in Srinagar, Jammu Kashmir, and the another one is in Gangtok, Sikkim, right? So remember these 4 names, they are very important. Then about PM Janman, so this is same we have discussed earlier. Moving next, Union Environment Minister has exempted 39 categories. How many? 39 categories of industries from dual compliance of environmental clearance. The industries which are very polluting, they generally require more than one clearances from the respective authorities, but 39 industries recently have been placed in the white category. That means they are not so much polluting, so they are exempt from the dual regulatory requirement. These industries are related to manufacturing of solar cells modules, bricks, block manufacturing, leather cutting, stitching, assembling, repairing, servicing coolers and air conditioners. These are the segments of to which these industries, 39 industries, they belong to. And the ministry has mentioned that these industries, they are in white category of industries. That means they are least polluting in nature. That's why this is the thing. So what is this categorization of white industries and all? So according to the CPCB, okay, the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB classifies industries on their polluting nature. On that basis, it classifies them into 4 categories: red, orange, green and white. White, least polluting, then green, more than least polluting, then orange in a alert zone, and then red is the top polluting industries. Right? So, you know, the Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1981 and Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, they mandate dual approvals to prevent pollution from industrial operations. So these Water and Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Acts, they require this dual regulation, but 39 industries are now exempt from it. Then you have dedicated task force will be set up by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in collaboration with Ministry of Power for achieving the goal of 500 gigawatts by 2030. Remember, so they have just announced that we are going to establish a dedicated task force for this purpose in order to achieve the goal of having 500 gigawatts of renewable energy installed by 2030. Remember this target, this is almost daily in the news, right? 500 gigawatts by 2030 of renewable energy. And India's net zero emission, zero carbon emission 2070, remember. Or net zero is by 2070. So remember these targets: 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity by 2030, 50% of energy generated from renewable energy sources by 2030, reducing carbon emissions by 1 billion ton by 2030, reducing carbon intensity of economy by over 45% by 2030 again, and net zero emission target is by 2070. Remember all these targets, they are very, very important, right? So net zero by 2070. Then we have Geo India 2024 in news. So what is this Geo India? This is the geoscientist organization, right? So Association of Petroleum Geologists. Geo India 2024 is in news. Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas has informed that India is setting up data center at University of Houston, Texas to provide easy access to critical geological data. Just a second. So Geo India 2024 is an association of these petroleum geologists. Okay, Geo stands for the geologists, as I told you. This association at the conference of Geo India 2024, they have announced that India is going to set up a data center at University of Houston in Texas to provide easy access to critical geological data. You see, geological data is also of so much importance, right? This is to aim global oil and gas companies to invest in India's exploration of these say oil and gas, because exploration of oil and gas will lead to abundance of these resources if we find them, and then it will reduce the dependence on OPEC countries. So this was the 6th edition, remember, of this Geo Summit, and the theme was exploring new dimensions of energy dynamics. Remember, 6th edition of Geo Summit 2024, Geologist Summit, and then theme is exploring new dimensions of energy dynamics. Then Australia's University of Wollongong, remember, University of Wollongong has inaugurated its first campus in the gift city, Gujarat, Gandhinagar. Okay. It's going to provide a lot of courses on financial technology, Masters of Financial Technology Extension, Financial Technology Graduate Certificate Graduate courses, etc. So remember, University of Wollongong, first campus in gift city, Gandhinagar. Then you have the International Meteorological Department has introduced local weather forecasting system. Remember this. Local weather forecasting system in Sabrimala pilgrimage. What do these local weather forecasting systems they do? These local weather forecasting systems, they provide, say, coming 3 days weather forecast of the region, because these are tourist destinations because of being important pilgrimage site, right? So we have like for Kedarnath, etc., because you see we have seen the destructive floods in Kedarnath in 2014, right? So after that, having proper weather forecast and all is helpful in order to avoid any casualties because of these tourist destinations. So IMD has introduced localized weather forecasting system in Sabrimala pilgrimage, similar to say Amarnath, Chardham Yatras, etc. And this has installed 3 rain gauges at your Sanidanam, Pamba and Nilakkal. So 3-day weather forecast will be provided, and this, the name has been provided to it is Nowcasts. Okay, Nowcasts. Then you have 58th Executive Committee meeting of NMCG, National Mission for Ganga, Clean Ganga. So 58th Executive Committee meeting of National Mission for Clean Ganga recently held, and it was headed by Rajiv Kumar Mittal, DG of National Mission for Clean Ganga. What is the aim? Of course, to take steps in conservation of Ganga river and its aquatic life. So conserving the river as well as conserving its aquatic life, right? Lot of projects were announced in this meeting. You had assessing the environmental flow of Chambal, San, Damodar and Tans project to evaluate the flows of these rivers and then ensure the further policies to maintain this flow in the river. Also for conservation of Ganga river dolphin, also known as the tiger of the Ganges. Ganga river dolphin, you see the IUCN status is endangered. So it is endangered. It is an indicator species. So it is very, very important. It is a freshwater species, you know, and it is endangered. So preservation of Ganga dolphin is very important, also known as tiger of the Ganges. This is Ganges. Okay. Tiger of the Ganges. So for conservation of dolphin, then another project deals with conservation of endangered turtles. Turtles in the Ganga basin, you see turtles are also endangered, particularly when we are talking about endangered turtles. So the olive ridley turtles remain in news for the threats, right? Because they come outside the waters on the beach for nesting. That's why they have a threat. Also, the pollution on the coastal areas like the plastic straws and all poses a threat to the survival of these turtles. So this is again the project. Then you have for rehabilitation of the 50 million liter per day STP seepage treatment plant. Okay, location Keora Pukur in Kolkata. So they are trying to improve water purification process in Kolkata and ensuring strict adherence to the environmental standards for water purification. Then approved integrated septage treatment plant project at Bardhaman in West Bengal. Okay, also then third season of the travelogue series Rag Rag Mein Ganga Ek Jeevan Dhara has been there to showcase India's invaluable heritage associated with Ganga river. All these projects are out there. I have discussed with uh, them all with you, so just go through them. And remember, septage treatment plants are important because it cleans out these plants, because over the period of time the material gets stick into these plants, it gets accumulated, and that is quite harmful for the health. I hope all this is clear. Then we have conversion of changing of name. So Sarai Kale Khan Chowk in Delhi has been renamed as Bhagwan Birsa Munda Chowk. Remember, now all the Delhites which are there, so the Sarai Kale Khan Chowk in Delhi has been renamed as Bhagwan Birsa Munda Chowk. Then in the state news, we have Andhra Pradesh government signing 8 MOUs with IIT Madras to launch transformative initiative across sectors in deep tech. Okay, so deep tech technology may they want to create deep tech innovation hubs in Amravati. For that, they have signed 8 MOUs with IIT Madras. Okay, also they want to scale up digital skilling platforms like Swayam Plus, IITM Pravartak, etc. Swayam is initiative by Government of India to provide free access to quality educational material. So basically 9th class se leke post graduate tak, whatever courses are there, right from coming directly from the highly qualified professors and teachers, also reviewed from top premier educational regulatory bodies like UGC, like AIMS, right? So gets reviewed by them like IGNOU, and then you have top quality videos, lectures can be accessed for free. So these online platforms, it also wants to expand its reach into this and create innovation, deep tech innovation hubs in Amravati. For that, 8 MOUs have been signed. Then you have international news. In international news mein, we have India's intervention has reiterated that developed countries, they need to commit mobilizing at least $1.3 trillion every year till 2030. Okay, so developed countries, they need to commit to provide this much to the developing countries, basically to help them achieve their nationally determined contributions or net zero emission targets or renewable energy installed capacity targets. Okay, COP29 is in news, happened recently in Baku, Azerbaijan. You all know that, right? We have discussed this thing number of times. Then the Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, multinational pharmaceutical company from India, it has been fined by Mexico drug regulator for 27 lakh rupees for deviation from the prescribed guidelines, okay, regarding import of certain products. So remember this name. Then you have EU, European Union regulator, has imposed a fine on Meta, the erstwhile Facebook, for nearly $800 million for breaching EU antitrust rules. Okay, so just remember these companies which are in news because of fines, and the amount not so much important. Then at COP29 again in news, you see India has opposed the unilateral trade barriers like EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism. The CBAM remains in news. The carbon border adjustment mechanism. What is this carbon border adjustment mechanism? This is unilateral. So you see, European Union is trying to restrict the carbon intensive products. What are these carbon intensive products? Any product which has led to a lot of emissions while its production process is carbon intensive. EU, in order to make it more clean and its commitments towards sustainable development, is trying to enforce these rules for countries where they will restrict or say impose higher duties on the carbon intensive products. India has opposed this. Why? Because in opposition to this, we are not restricting the flow of these goods coming from European Union countries into Indian market, right? So this is one-sided, unilateral. India has opposed this. This is carbon market adjustment mechanism, EU, and it has to be implemented by 1st January 2026 to put a fair price on the carbon emitted during the production of carbon intensive goods that are entering the European Union. Now what will happen if they put up this price? It will make our goods costlier into the European market. and then you see demand for these goods will fall down in comparison to the goods produced in their domestic market. So it is going to affect our exports a lot. That's why India has opposed this. And also this is not something which is coming in response to any barrier imposed by India. So we are free on the borders. Free means we are not restricting these, we are not having these kind of restrictions. So that is unilateral, and India therefore has opposed it. Then you have tropical storm Sara in news because it has hit Honduras. So remember, tropical storm Sara is in news. It has recently made a landfall in Honduras. Then President of China Xi Jinping has unveiled a mega port in Shanghai, Peru, which boosts economic growth for linking South America to Asia. Okay, so there is this port in news, remember, in Peru, recently unveiled by China. Then according to a new data regarding the artificial, regarding the cities in Asia and US, so it says cities in Asia and US, they emit the most heat trapping gas that feeds climate change. So this report says cities in Asia and US particularly, they are emitting those gases which are most responsible for heating the global environment, right? This is the thing. And in this, Shanghai tops the list of polluting cities, followed by Tokyo, New York, and Houston. Right? What about India? So China, India, Iran, Indonesia, and Russia, they are the biggest. They had the biggest increase in emissions from 22-23. So in this category, you have India, biggest increase in emissions of these gases from 22-23. And Venezuela, Japan, Germany, UK, and US, they had the biggest decrease in pollution from 22-23. Remember this thing. So India is in which category? Biggest increase in polluting gases or emission of these greenhouse gases from 22-23. And Shanghai tops the list, remember. MOUs, mergers mein, let's quickly go through the MOUs. We need not discuss them in detail. So first, trilateral power transaction is there from Nepal to Bangladesh through India grid. It has been inaugurated. What is this trilateral power transaction? See, it involves three countries, Nepal, Bangladesh, and India. Or say Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. Okay, Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. So Nepal is a power surplus country. Nepal basically has a lot of water bodies, you see, right? So hydropower potential is high in Nepal. But on the other hand, Bangladesh is deficient in this segment. So from Nepal, this power will be transferred to Bangladesh via India. So India has provided the grid infrastructure for this, and that is India grid. I hope this is clear. Okay. And this will be through India grid, export of how much? 40 megawatt of power. Then you have India and Japan, they have signed an MOU or say MOI, Memorandum of Implementation, for co-development of unicorn. This is very, very important, unicorn. India and Japan have signed this MOI for co-development. They will be co-developing this unicorn. What does unicorn stands for? Unicorn stands for Unified Complex Radio Antenna Mast. You see this Unified Complex Radio Antenna Mast. This is a fitment for the Indian naval warships. It is going to help Indian naval warships in hiding. So it basically reduces the radar identification. Any other ship will not be able to identify or locate these Indian naval warships within its radar. So it is going to increase the stealth capacity. Stealth matlab chupne ki capacity, right? So stealth capacity of Indian warships. So this is going to be co-developed by India and Japan, going to add to the defense capabilities of Indian Navy. I hope this is clear. And it will be co-developed by, remember these names as well, Bharat Electronics Limited. So from India, who will be there? Bharat Electronics Limited, okay? And then Japanese counterparts will be there. Then you have UNESCO South Asia Regional Office has joined hands with MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, to organize a stakeholder consultation on safety and ethics in AI in New Delhi. This consultation will be organized on safety and AI in New Delhi. Okay. That wants to ensure that artificial intelligence also goes in consonance with the idea of social harmony, safety, privacy, etc. This is not so much important, just remember this. Then you have NASA has teamed up with Microsoft. NASA and Microsoft, they are trying to develop Earth Copilot, which is AI chatbot, to respond to any user's query regarding the Earth. Okay. Then Lubrizol, which is a global leader in chemicals, and Chennai-based Polyhos, they have signed MOU to establish a greenfield specialized manufacturing unit for high precision medical tubing. Medical tubing is quite significant in terms of health infrastructure, used in lot of medical devices and medical treatments, right? So for this medical tubing, remember Lubrizol and Polyhos from India, they have signed an MOU. Then Reliance Industries has completed merger of its media assets with the India business of global media house Walt Disney. So Reliance Industries ka media assets ka merger with Walt Disney has completed and it has created a new joint venture. Then you have Air India and Tourism Australia have signed 3-year marketing agreement to promote travel from India to Australia. Then you have GAIL India Limited signing long-term contract for purchase of LNG from ADNOC Gas. Remember this. GAIL India Limited has signed a long-term contract for purchase of liquefied natural gas from ADNOC Gas. So this is a 10-year sale and purchase agreement for up to 0.52 million metric tons per annum of LNG. Then science tech mein, let's see what do we have. The botanists recently have discovered a new species called Crinum endicrum. Remember, these names are in news, they are important. Crinum endicrum, this is a new plant species in eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh, have been found, eastern Ghats. Now, what is specific about this? That it grows in dry and rocky forests. It blooms in dry and rocky forests. Then in defense, we have Indian Army organizing commemorative events at the 2 war memorials in Arunachal Pradesh, which are Jaswantgarh War Memorial in Tawang district and Nyukmadang War Memorial in West Kameng district. This is to honor the courage and sacrifice of Indo-China war heroes of 1962. To honor the courage and sacrifices of all the Indo-China war martyrs of 1962. Indices and rankings mein, we have something really important here. So you have latest Business Environment Index 2024. Business Environment Index 2024, according to which released by, okay, so first important question, who releases this? So this is released by EIU, Economist Intelligence Unit. Business Environment Index 2024 released by Economist Intelligence Unit. Accordingly, India has emerged as the third most improving geography in terms of business environment. Remember this rank. I'm telling you this is important, right? So India is third most emerging geography in terms of business environment. So we have good business environment and we are emerging as one of the top leaders into this. Remember, third most. And so India has been ranked just after Greece and Argentina. So which is the top country? Greece in business environment. First is Greece, second Argentina, and third is India. But if you see top 10 economies, not emerging geographies, we have two categories into this. In top 10 emerging geographies or top 3 emerging geographies, we have Greece, Argentina, and India. India at third. But we have another category which talks about top 10 economies, not emerging one, which are already there, right? So top 10 economies for business environment, you have Singapore leading the list. Singapore first, second Denmark, and third US. Remember these two categories, okay? Then further in the reports, we have forecast by International Energy Agency, global oil supply will exceed demand in 2025. Now, this is quite peculiar, isn't it? Generally, why oil prices are higher? Because supply is less than the demand, right? So IEA has forecasted that by 2025 supply is going to surpass demand. So let's see, that means oil prices should drop, isn't it? Because whenever supply is more than demand, prices drop. What is the reason attached? It is rising production from US and other outside producers. So countries are searching for alternatives of the OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. You see, OPEC has been a cartel. Cartel means a monopoly kind of thing. So OPEC countries, they generally keep up prices high, right? Because they don't have any close substitute. But now production of these oil and gas from US, from Russia is rising. So that is going to lead oil supply surpassing demand. So let's see, we can have a fall in the import bill for India as well, right? This is the forecast, remember. Then according to a new report by the Independent High-Level Expert Group Committee on Climate Finance, negotiators should focus on mobilizing $1 trillion per year by 2030. Then only we will be able to cope up with global warming. So we need at least this much fund for the projects. And this was released in the 29th COP in Baku. Then Deloitte Google report, India's sports industry. According to this Deloitte Google report, India's sport industry is set to swell to $130 billion by 2030. Okay, so sport industry from India is swelling exponentially, and this is the figure provided. Also, the report has this title, Think Sports. Okay, Think Sports. Awards में we have Yoga Break at Workplace, Y Break, which is an initiative of Ministry of Ayush, has been awarded with Certificate of Appreciation for its outstanding performance on the iGod portal, Karma Yogi Bharat platform. What is this 5-minute yoga break regimen? Government has launched this 5-minute yoga break, and it has asked all the government departments, etc., to promote this in the offices. What happens in offices, we generally lay down on the chairs, and then it affects the productivity, also the biological functioning of us, right? So 5-minute yoga break, where they will be providing the performing the most important yogasans, is something which is this yoga break. Okay, they are trying to promote this in government as well as non-government offices. Then we have the RINL, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, the public sector company in steel industry. RINL has bagged 3 prestigious gold awards. So 3 gold awards have been bagged by RINL. This is very, very important. You see, these type of questions they have asked, right? At the International Convention on Quality Control Circles, organized by Sri Lanka Association for Advancement of Quality and Productivity. 3 gold awards it has received. Okay, 3 prestigious gold awards, and they have been awarded to these entities. 3 LQCs, Learn Quality Circle Teams. What are these LQCs? Learn Quality Circle Teams, they basically operate in identifying specific problems in the work environment or in offices, and they try to improve them. So these 3 LQCs from RINL, they have bagged these gold awards. Remember RINL, that would be more than sufficient. Then you have very, very important thing, Manoj Vajpayee starrer The Fable has bagged Best Film Award at 38th Leeds International Film Festival in UK. So 38th Leeds International Film Festival has seen The Fable winning this award. Okay, it is directed by Ram Reddy, and award category is Constellation Feature Film Competition. Then you have GMR Hyderabad International Airport has received international acclaim for its advancements in digital innovation. Okay, so excellence, airport excellence awards mein during Saudi airport exhibition, it has received acclaim, GMR Hyderabad International. Then you have Infosys Science Foundation has announced 6 winners of Infosys Prize 2024 for researchers under 40 years of age. So Infosys gives incentives and prizes for young, say, researchers under the age of 40. So 6 have been announced in these all categories: economics, engineering, computer sciences, humanities, mathematical science, etc. You can go through these names. Just इकोनॉमिक्स में अर्जुन जी चंद्रशेखर, इंजीनियरिंग कंप्यूटर साइंस में श्याम गोलकोटा, देन ह्यूमैनिटीज में मोहम्मद कुरिया, लाइफ साइंस में सिद्धेश कामत, मैथमेटिकल साइंस में नीना गुप्ता, एंड देन फिजिकल साइंसेज में वेदिका. Books में we have External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has launched his book Why Bharat Matters. Now this is going to be very important for all the examinations. Remember, the author, External Affairs Minister of India, highly intellectual personality, as you know, Dr. S. Jaishankar, okay, has launched his book Why Bharat Matters at Mohammed bin Rashid Library in Dubai. Then we have World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims. World Day Remembrance of Road Traffic Victims is observed on every third Sunday of November each year. So this year it is observed on 17th November. What was the slogan? Slogan was remember, support and act. Remember these incidents, support the survivors and act accordingly, ensure that these cases do not happen in future. Remember, support and act. Then festivals may we have Union Minister of Textiles has inaugurated Ministry's Pavilion at 43rd India International Trade Fair, New Delhi. You see, we have seen yesterday a lot of pavilions of CBIC as well, of different ministries. So Textiles Ministry has also inaugurated its own pavilion at this 43rd India International Trade Fair with a theme. So what is the theme? Theme is 150th. So celebrating 150th birth anniversary of Birsa Munda. The theme is Janjatiya. Okay, so tribal is the theme basically. Janjatiya theme. Then we have Honorable President wishing people on the auspicious occasions of historic two festivals, the Bali Yatra and the Boid Bandhan. Okay, they belong to the state of Odisha. Bali Yatra festival may it commemorates the day when the Odia mariners they set sail for distant lands on boats for trade and cultural exchange. So it celebrates that mariners from Odisha, they went to sail across seas and then they traded, right? And Boit Bandhan festival is reminder of the brave sailors who once set sail for trade. This is also associated with that. Okay, so remember these two festivals associated with the reverence of these sailors from Odisha. Then we have the Jaulijbi Mela. Okay, so this is the Jaulijbi Mela from Uttarakhand. Yeah, Jaulijbi Mela to be more specific. The correct pronunciation, pardon me for that, will be Jaulijbi, right? So Jaulijbi Mela 2024 in news belongs to the state of Uttarakhand. I hope all of this is clear. Then moving to the sports news category. So we have Arshdeep Singh becoming India's second highest wicket taker in men's T20 internationals. Remember. So who is the first highest? India's highest wicket taker in T20 internationals is Yuzvendra Chahal, 96 wickets. 92 wickets, Arshdeep Singh, and 96 wickets, Yuzvendra Chahal. Then we have Magnus Carlsen, the Norwegian Grandmaster, and Alexandra Goriakina. They have won the Open Rapid and Women Rapid title at the Tata Steel India Rapid 2024. So remember, Magnus Carlsen in the Open Rapid category and Alexandra from Russia in the Women Rapid category have won these awards in the Tata Steel India Rapid 2024 at Kolkata. Then we have Prajnesh Ganeshwaran, who won the bronze in 2018 games, has announced retirement from professional tennis. So this person is in news, remember, Prajnesh Ganeshwaran announcing retirement from the professional tennis. Then appointments may you have President-elect Donald Trump nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Then Mukesh Ambani's RIL and Walt Disney completed their merger. We have seen this news in the MOUs and merger segment. Then former English Premier League footballer Sol Campbell has been named as International Event Ambassador of the Tata Steel World 25K to be held in Kolkata. So Campbell is the ambassador of Tata Steel World 25 to be held in Kolkata. This event, remember this name, the ambassador will be English Premier League footballer Sol Campbell. Then you have AAP candidate Mahesh Kumar elected as Delhi's new mayor. Okay, so AAP candidate Mahesh Kumar has been elected as Delhi's new mayor, defeating the BJP counterpart. Then Tulsi Gabbard was appointed as Director of National Intelligence by United States President Donald Trump. Then we have National Human Rights Commission, the NHRC, in collaboration with Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation, concluded a 6-day executive capacity building program on human rights. From 11 to 16 November, it was held in global south countries. Which were the countries? Remember, Maldives, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nepal, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Jordan. Capacity building workshops basically in terms of human rights. Obituaries में we have Haji Khwaja Abdul Hamid Tanveer, a scholar, a poet, and a historian and educationist, has passed away at the age of 84. Then Princess Mikasa, the oldest member of Japanese royal family, has passed away at age of 101. And important days में we have National Press Day, celebrating the importance, identifying the importance of press in the democracy. Changing nature of press is the theme for 2024. National Press Day is celebrated on 16th November. Okay. Then Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, you already know that 15th November, marking the 150th anniversary of Birsa Munda. And as I told you, he led the historic Ul Gulan, the Great Rebellion from 1899 to 1900. Okay. Then Jharkhand Foundation Day has been celebrated recently on November 15th, which marks the formation of the state of Jharkhand as 28th state in 2000. Then 16th November also marks the United Nations International Day for Tolerance. Okay. Now this is important because it is UNESCO Madanjeet Singh Prize is in news associated with this. It is given for promotion of tolerance and non-violence. Who is Madanjeet Singh? He is Indian artist and diplomat Madanjeet Singh, known for his efforts in promoting tolerance and non-violence. Okay, via his tenure. So this award for promotion of tolerance and non-violence is awarded biennially since 1995. It honors individuals and institutions making important contributions for tolerance and non-violence. This was the news. I hope all of this is clear. We really had some important news today in the regulatory and banking segment. I hope all of this is clear. Now it's time for the top 5 MCQs from these news, these shorts, right? So the first question in front of you. According to the latest data released by RBI, deposit growth has been almost on par with the credit growth. What is the main reason given or outlined in that report? What is the main reason outlined in the report? Tell me. So the correct answer is A, slowdown in credit growth from its recent peaks. We have discussed this thing, right? Next question. India and Japan recently have signed a memorandum of implementation of unicorn mast for Indian naval ships. What does unicorn stands for? What is this unicorn for which India and Japan will be co-developing this for Indian naval ships? Unicorn stands for? So unicorn basically stands for Unified Complex Radio Antenna. E is the correct option, Unified Complex Radio Antenna. Third question. According to the latest Business Environment Index 2024 released by Economic Intelligence Unit, India has emerged as which number of largest improving geography in terms of business environment? 6th largest? No, not 6th largest. In terms of improvement in business environment, if you see, I have discussed with you, after Greece and Argentina, India is the 3rd largest, right? Very good, 3rd largest. Very good, after Greece and Argentina. Then next question, which film has bagged the Best Film Award at 38th Leeds International Film Festival, UK? Which film has bagged this award? 38th Leeds International Film Festival में Best Film Award. Tell me. Anyone? C. Very good. The Fable. Okay. The Fable, directed by Ram Reddy and starring Manoj Bajpayee. Last question of these shorts. According to the latest data by RBI, India holds which position in terms of Forex reserves in the world, and as per the latest data, how much Forex reserves do we hold as of November 2024? Tell me. As of November 2024, rank and number of Forex reserves with India. So the correct option here will be, this is fourth rank, fourth largest country in Forex reserves, and $682 billion, if you remember from the class, right? Fourth rank with $682 billion of Forex reserves. Fourth rank with $682 billion of Forex reserves. A will be the correct answer. So these were the shorts from today's class. I hope the class is useful for you. You have understood all those concepts we have discussed. Keep on revising and keep on reading and revising these questions at least. They will give you a hint as to what topics are important from the latest pattern they are asking in all examinations. Thank you so much for being focused and interactive in the class. I'll see you all in the next session. Till then, have a great day. Thank you so much.